Hello, and welcome back to Shelf Talks. I'm your host, Roberta, and today I'm excited to chat with Aliett Buttelman, co-founder of Fazit Beauty, the first ever makeup patch brand featuring their most viral glitter freckles, fresh off a year of major growth moments, including going viral with Taylor Swift wearing their glitter freckles, as well as landing on the shelves of Urban Outfitters and CVS. They are well on their way to their projected $40 million in sales planned for 2025. Welcome, Aliett.
Thank you so much for having me, Roberta.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk today with you.
Likewise, I feel like retail is always such a fun conversation to have. It's so complex and would have loved to have a podcast like this to listen to in the early days of us trying to figure it all out.
Yeah, thank you for that. And that's the goal, right? To just help others. And of course, to hear your amazing story. I think it's just going to be definitely inspiring for other people. So if we could just start off with just getting some background, what was your life as well as your co-founder's life before you even started the brand?
Yeah, so my background is in fashion. Since I was 15, I was working as a model. So, working for brands like Avon back in the day, and just other world-renowned global beauty and fashion brands until I went to college, realized that being in front of the camera wasn't for me, would much rather be behind the camera, and had an experience working with so many amazing professional makeup artists and hairstylists and creative directors and chief marketing officers that really gave me a holistic view of the beauty and fashion world. From there, I went to Columbia University. I studied economics and art history. Had no idea what I wanted to do. I told people I would do one for my dad's, which was like, study economics for a little money in the pocket, but like would study art history as a minor for, more of a passion project. And throughout college, I would just pick up little gigs, little side hustles, to stay afloat and pay my way throughout college. And they would have a lot of clients from the modeling days who were like, can you help me with social media? I just want like a young, fresh set of eyes on what we're building. So started taking on clients, helping them rebrand, ended up actually getting them into retailers, getting them pressed. And one of my first clients is my now co-founder, Nina Labruna. She was creating potions of magical face oil in her dorm room at NYU. And I met her, tried her amazing, luxurious, clean skincare products. And I was like, we can do something with this. Let's rebrand this. We got into Nordstrom's. We sold out in 24 hours. And that was our first way into, the beauty world as entrepreneurs. And during COVID, she said, let's do something 50-50. I want both of our visions to come to life in a company. And I was like, oh, I would never do this. Like I have seen founders like with so much skin in the game and I knew how hard it was. I was like, that's not for me. Like I just want to give people advice and be able to walk away at the end of the day.
Right.
So anyway, I used the project as Phase It as our creative outlet throughout COVID and we're here now today.
Wow, that's amazing. So you kind of fell into it, and not really
Exactly.
your path. So once you guys kind of came together and kind of, 50-50 started or rebranded, what did that initial stage look like? What were your thoughts in regards to conception of what that assortment looks like?
Yeah, so we came from this clean skincare world where I think we all saw during COVID became a really saturated marketplace. I think it was great to see the indie beauty disruption that was going on for a company that was self-funded, was hyper feminine and super niche. It was really hard to stand out in that market. And we wanted to create something that was more mass market, a fair price point, and use a new format and application of applying first skincare and now cosmetics that would really disrupt the space. So we first came out with the first extra large multi-shaped acne patches. We then launched the first nose pore patch using hydrocolloid, ingrown hair patches, silicone acne scar patches. And we were having a lot of traction and building a lot of community online with the limited resources we had, which then brought us to this cosmetic makeup patch space.
So during those early stages, how did you drive awareness of the brand and get consumers to start to purchase?
TikTok. I mean, I put in $3,000 of my own money. My co-founder put in $10,000 of hers. And that was really just used for inventory, packaging, design. Neither of us are graphic designers. So if you would have seen our first rendition of our website, it looks like a Microsoft 2000 PowerPoint. It was so bad. So what we knew we could do was social media. So using TikTok to be able to have this reach, it was just unparalleled to any other social media platform to be able to have no followers and start building a community and really being able to take off based on disruptive content that hadn't been seen out there is really where we started making a name for ourselves.
So was that through kind of the influencer base?
We have always had a very disruptive influencer marketing strategy. I believe like old school influencer marketing is dead. And it was important to me, like our customer had acne and we were selling acne care products to send to anyone who was willing to talk about their skincare journey, specifically with acne, or just bumps and blemishes in general, that we had products that they could use for that. And that was the most impactful content that we saw, or people really speaking from their own experiences and not influencers we were paying or writing a script to talk about what we were doing at Fazit.
Yeah, so just more organic, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then what had you kind of transitioned from the patches into kind of diving more into the beauty aspect with the glitter patches?
We noticed with the skincare patches that they were really taking off on short form video content because of that satisfactory peeling effect that is really disgusting, but people love to watch. I mean, there's a reason why Dr. Pimple Popper, has the amount of views on videos that she does. So we wanted to take why people were loving our products. One, it's this very quick before and after result, and it's an effective result. So to be being able to show your followers on camera or in front of your mirror in your bathroom at home what your skin could quickly look like after using the product, we wanted to take that same methodology and apply it to cosmetics. So Nina brought this idea to me. She's like, what about freckles? I'm seeing everyone on TikTok take broccoli and put spray tanner on it and dab faux freckles onto their face. And I was just like, how did we get from acne care to freckles? But she started doing a lot of R&D and receiving samples, and she would wear them in LA. And she was like, I get stopped on the street of people asking me, what are these like glittery designs I'm wearing on my face? We have to do this. And she would pitch myself and our business advisor, and we would look at each other like, what is she talking about? So anyway, as an entrepreneur, sometimes it's throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks and finding the right product market fit that we decided to launch makeup patches in April of 2024. We aligned that with Coachella weekend. The nature of the product felt very festival-like. So we sent a few production samples to our friends that were going to Coachella. They made content. That content went viral. We sold out of 100,000 units direct to consumer on our website before we even had product from our manufacturer at our warehouse.
Oh my God. Well, one, I think it's very interesting, and I think genius just taking something that you're seeing on social media and making it into a product versus people kind of doing DIYing it at home and making something even more beautiful. And two, I mean, I think that's smart in regards to sending to Coachella and getting like those first eyes. And of course, there's so much content, like natural and organic content that happens there. What were people initially saying about the product that were getting those samples and trialing them at Coachella?
Product was so disruptive. If you've never seen really a makeup patch before, so I think just like the new format of applying cosmetics really intrigued people. And again, like that you could put this on your face in 30 to 60 seconds and have this really intricate design. Being a pro makeup artist at home, I think really intrigued people into the product. And as you can see, it's very bold and statement like, and just noticed so many friends immediately wanting to like take a selfie or see how it looked. And it was just an immediate confidence booster type of product.
Yeah. And like instant gratification. Like to
Exactly.
your point, you don't have to be a true makeup artist and you can have like something fresh and new on your face. That's cool. So with that kind of selling out before product even hit, what were next steps in making sure that you were going to be able to fulfill those orders?
Yeah, we made another huge order with our manufacturer, who she's been wonderful to deal with, and she's super quick and has been able to grow along with us. But from there, we really knew we had a product that was going to work. At that stage, we had rebranded the whole company. We wanted it to feel like an extension of us, getting a little bit away from that like Y2K, what we thought Gen Z wanted to see from a brand, and really building something that felt authentic to my co-founder and I. From there, we had Urban Outfitters reach out to us and we launched nationwide with them throughout the summer. And from June to August, we consistently had these viral moments happening all over social media. We did pop-ups at sororities across the nation, really lending it the product being this occasion wear type makeup product that really wants to have a special occasion to wear it to.
Yeah. Did you have a plan to go into retail? Was that one of your goals as you started to rebrand?
Yeah, retail was always the plan from day one of making acne and ingrown hair patches. We had calls with Walmart and CVS and Urban Outfitters in the early days, and it's really all about timing. If I look back, we were never ready for those retailers at that point. We were really trying to find who we were as entrepreneurs and as a brand, that everything happened the way it was supposed to for us. By the time Urban Outfitters came around, and we always knew they were the first retailer we'd want to be with. It's our demographic. It's a much easier way to try retail before going mass. They don't, have you buy back product that doesn't sell. And they really work with indie beauty brands to make sure they're successful in their stores. And then from there, the conversations just naturally started happening from those larger retailers that called us back 2 years later and it's like, are you guys ready for us now?
Once you entered Urban Outfitters, was there anything that you wish you would have known before you even, had landed on the shelves that you identified once you were actually selling product in a brick and mortar store?
Yeah, I mean, from my consulting business, I had experience working with Urban Outfitters. I know you have to drive the foot traffic to Urban Outfitters. You really want to work in this collaborative spirit of, on your own social media channels and to your own community, sending the traffic in store. And like I was mentioning, because this is an occasion wear type of product, a lot of our customers wanted the product immediately. So to be able to go to their local Urban Outfitters, pick up the product if it's, before rushing their sorority or a game day or going to a concert. We were giving them that accessibility to phase it. And just what I realized is working closely with your buyer, of creating that personal relationship, and they know their customer, better than what I can assume their customer wants. So being able to be nimble as a brand, and I text with our buyer, once a week, and he's like, can you do something cool for Valentine's Day? And I'll send him all these concepts before we even go to production. And really just, working closely, giving exclusivity to the retailers that you are working with. So what you're offering their customer has a bit of freshness to it.
Yeah. And it allows them to know that that's the place that they need to go in order to purchase, and helps to drive additional traffic. So once you were in there, how did you manage, just because you mentioned throughout the summer having other viral moments, how did you manage making sure that you had proper inventory in Urban Outfitters as you were having those moments throughout the year?
So initially when they came to us wanting to bring Fazit to Urban, we had a bit of a back and forth of, there was a certain way they wanted our packaging. They didn't want to bring us in nationwide. And I think it was really because they had no one to compare us to of how our makeup patch is going to sell. If they're going to make this large investment into this new type of product, they really want to test it. And we were quite firm with them. We're like, this is an all or nothing deal. You take us nationwide or we're not interested. Like, we don't want to just sit in a few of your stores or just online. We really know how well this product can sell. And I told them we're not changing our packaging. Like, trust us on this one. And they ended up trusting us. They kept our packaging as is. They brought us into 180 stores. And I think they're pretty thankful now, because as soon as we have a viral moment pop off on social, or, had a celebrity wearing the product, we were able to, if, we sold out on our website, we could drive traffic to them and vice versa.
Was there anything different in regards to how you were kind of focused on the D2C model and driving traffic to stores there versus how you had to tailor to drive specifically to a retailer?
Yeah, I think every retailer is different. With Urban, it's having more of this grassroots effort. One, it's aligning with the influencers or creators that they're already working with and seeding them product. They're already talking about Urban in their content strategy. I just felt like that was a really organic approach to influencers, seeing where we can do activations in real life with a retailer. We have done so many across the Eras tour, popping up at all the locations that Taylor was performing in with them. Meet the founders, let us put our product on you in real life, and really working with them in any type of way to create not just the moments as a brand, but the brand with the retailer to create the spark. If it's bringing press to these events, talking about the retailer in interviews, really showing this collaborative spirit between the brand and being partnered with a retailer.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, the in real life moments, I think, just seem to become even more and more important and getting off of, your screen.
Exactly. No, we had these massive advertising trucks over the last 4 months with Urban Outfitters logo on it. Just again, to have another viral moment and in real life moment in front of their stores and meeting customers where they're at.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So you kind of already mentioned it or alluded, but let's, of course, and I know you get this on every every podcast interview, but of course we cannot not talk about your truly, truly viral moment with Taylor Swift. So if you could just, tell us the story and let us in on what happened.
Yeah. So back in May, so 1 month after launching the glitter freckles, as a marketer, you think of who is my target demographic, like who is wearing this product. And Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour was just completing its European leg. And we already had some Swifties buying the products if they were like traveling to Europe to go see the show and wearing them there. And it's like, wow, if we could really just get these on Taylor herself while she's performing, the product is long lasting, it's waterproof, it's sweat proof. Like she can be performing 3 hours and 45 minutes and, this wouldn't budge. And it goes so well with her sparkly outfits. So I was doing some research. My background in fashion, I know that it's so hard to get products on a celebrity. Their PR denies you, management team denies you. And we've tried this before with our first company, Libruna Skincare, and with Faze. But it's like, you know what? Makeup artists love free products. Like they're so receptive to trying new things. I'm gonna see if she's just like works with one person and learned that she works solely with Lori Turk, which has been her makeup artist for years. Her agency who represents her gave me her address. I sent her product in May. And then I heard nothing. But we had a strategy in place where Sabrina Carpenter was opening for Taylor Swift. I sent to her team. I sent to all the other wives and girlfriends of the Chiefs players. So it's like, okay, Taylor has to be surrounded by Faze It. And then maybe, I don't know, like in my wildest dreams, she'll, figure out who we are and maybe, like the product.
Right.
So I come home, I think October 7th evening. I'm on my phone. My fiance has the game on, and a content creator DMs the Visa Beauty account. It's like, I think Taylor is wearing your glitter freckles at the game. And like it didn't register. And like in retrospect, it really should have. Like we did send her team our product. Just like no, like it can't be. And I'm on Instagram Explore page 6. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, Chicks in the Office. These people all start doing these zoomed in photos of her face, and I turn on, the TV's already on, but I tune in and I see her walking into Arrowhead Stadium with our glitter freckles on, and I black out. I start crying. Like, I am sobbing. I show emotion through tears, but I start crying, and I say like my fiance is, been on this entrepreneurial journey with me, and I think he knew like this was such a moment that he just recorded it. And I realized I was crying because I knew it was about to happen next
Yeah.
with our company. And it was just such an empowering moment of being an entrepreneur and sacrificing so much to build this brand that the outside world is usually questioning, but like you have faith that it will absolutely like come to fruition if you show up every single day for the brand and for your team. And I called my co-founder and she's not answering. And
Oh
I
no.
called her 200 times and she's not. I'm like, babe, it's go time. I was like, we gotta like sit down and work. So she finally called me back, and I don't think it registered for her completely, but it was all hands on deck that night. I like roped in my brother-in-law, who's a marketer, and my fiance, who has like no like brand social media skill set whatsoever, is like making Reddit accounts and Twitter accounts because no one knew what product she was wearing on her face. It was just these glitter freckles. So immediately I had to contact like every journalist who was already writing and publishing articles online about it and make sure they're crediting Fazit. So it was a whirlwind. I think 72 hours. I barely slept and just like dreamed of Taylor and Travis like lucidly. And the next day, I had NBC documentary set up in my living room to film an interview called The Swift Effect that came out around Thanksgiving on NBC Peacock. CBS Inside Edition had me in their studio that same day. I mean, it was such a whirlwind that first few weeks of every possibility and every door we tried to open ourselves over the last 2.5 years was finally being opened. And what I tell people now in the retrospect of this whole experience is like Taylor gave my co-founder and I this leverage and this voice, like open our own doors and walk through them and like have a seat at the table. And you know, the NBA and the NFL are like setting up meetings with us.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Like
been it's
beyond your
been
wildest
crazy,
dreams.
literally.
I do want to say though, in just hearing that, I love that, I'm sure most people think, oh, overnight success, like this just happened to be, right? But there was really a strategy behind this buildup. You did the work to understand, like, how can we get it in front of her? Let's, utilize other people around her to get there. And it took a couple months because I think you said you sent it in May,
Yeah.
but it eventually did happen with a true plan in place. So I think that's just important for people to hear. Like it's not ever, and I think you even mentioned it on your social platform. Like it takes work and it's not overnight. You may see something big at one point, but it is a lot of hard work behind the scenes happening.
Yeah, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of people working, every single day to continuously like build the brand and grow the brand. Yeah, no, I love when, the articles are like overnight success and like 100% she did really transform our business to a global stage but we were also on the path of doing so. We, over the summer, before she wore the product, we had CVS reach out directly to us. It was like, I received a sample of your product in like a conference goodie bag. We are obsessed. We've seen nothing like this. Can you get on the phone with us tomorrow? And I was on vacation. I get on the phone with them, and it was the buyer that we spoke to 2 years ago when we were trying to push pimple patches onto her. And she's like, I've loved watching you girls grow and see the brand evolve. Like, do you want to partner with us? And she really, set the stage of CVS has the most doors of any retailer in the US, pretty much. The reach is huge. For Faze it was always about accessibility of like your last minute festival accessory or concert accessory, your last minute stocking stuffer. So she really presented us an opportunity we couldn't turn down, which was to launch at CVS, which ended up happening in November. And timing always works out the way it's supposed to. But to have Taylor bring this brand awareness that we, didn't necessarily completely have before, and then being able to launch at like one of the most accessible retailers for people to pick up her products as soon as they want them.
Yeah. So what did that launch look like when it came to CVS from the time that they said, we want you in? What was the timing to actually be on shelf, and what was the work that happened in between those months?
It was super quick, and that's what they really pitched us. They were like, with most of these retailers, it's years of conversation and then probably around like 8 to 11 months before, like from when they say yes to when you get on shelf. And that is so much time. And I've really never understood that. I think like as retailers, like the way to stay alive and to stay ahead is like there needs to be a little bit more flexibility of the trends and the cultural moments and seeing what your consumer wants on social media and how do you now bring that into store a little bit faster. And CVS said, like, we can do that for you. We can bring you in stores in like just a few months. So we had this conversation in July. We ended up launching in beginning of November. And yeah, for us, it was really the influencer strategy, the marketing strategies we were going to have in place to prepare for that launch. But really, like, thank you, Taylor. I mean,
Right?
she really like queued things up for us.
After that kind of viral moment, and just even as you kind of bridged into going into CVS, how did you keep that momentum and keep that kind of viral kind of awareness happening?
Yeah. So day two, so like 24 hours into all of this, I thought I was doing the most I possibly could of, contacting these journalists. I hired a PR person, utilizing this content on social, on our website. And it's like, I feel like I'm missing something. So I called a founder friend who was one of the top performing brands at Sephora. And I was like, this just happened. What am I missing? What do I do? She's like, hire a publicist. I'm like, all right, we got that. We're good to go.
Check.
Yeah, check. And she was like, use this moment to leverage the retailer of your dreams. She was like, you can have anything you want right now. Like, you are the hottest brand of the moment. Like, go out and get it. So we reached out to our dream retailer. And we had been having conversations, and they put us on hold for a little bit. And they actually emailed us before I even had the chance to contact them and tell them what was happening. They're like, listen, we know what's happening. We went into our boss's office this morning. We told her, like, we need, to get going on this. Can we launch you in like 4 to 8 weeks?
Wow.
So, which is unheard of, with the side cap. And I can't announce who it is yet, but we are launching with this dream retailer February 2nd of this year. So yeah, so it was really, leveraging that, and controlling the narrative, controlling the conversation. We had a lot of other famous people's makeup artists reach out to us. Rita Ora wore strawberry speckles. We had Lisa from Blackpink, the Korean pop star. She wore silver speckles performing, and really just like keeping up with, these moments and continuously talking about it. I've never loved being the face of the brand at any point. It's just like we have like enough work to do behind the scenes, like to keep up with a personal brand on Instagram and TikTok is a lot. But, from the moment Taylor wore the product, I posted that video of me sobbing, and it now has 14 million views. And we were really just keeping our community and our audience, like, they loved seeing how a small business was impacted, and really just showing them the journey and having them come along the ride with us.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I see that. I think you mentioned even you went from like 400 followers on your, and now you have 97 million.
It's so crazy. My fiance's like, you're gonna post that? And I was like, I've got nothing to lose. And I posted it, and that was the video that was converting the most amount of sales at first, and driving traffic to FazeItBeauty.com. And you gotta, I don't know, as a brand owner or anyone who's starting something, like, you have to let the ego go at a certain point and need to stop being fixated on perfection or showing your best foot forward. I think people love seeing these real, vulnerable, and raw moments, and being okay with that,
Yeah.
of taking people along the ride with you.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think, showing all of the vulnerability that you show just has people more connected to the brand too, right? It's already a differentiator, and then it's that like just connection that draws you into the founders.
Yeah, but it's a face and humanizes the brand. And I think, like, as consumers, we feel really distant from a lot of brands and companies. And I think that's like what indie beauty has done so well, is really like humanizes it and makes you feel like there's real people, behind what you're purchasing.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that you didn't even want to do this, and now you're the face of not didn't want to do it, but you didn't have a goal of starting a beauty
Right,
brand.
right. I guess it was meant to happen.
Definitely, definitely. So with your product on shelf, was there anything that you had? I know you mentioned at Urban you didn't have to change anything in regards to packaging, but once you're going into CVS, was it the same? Does your product fit well on shelf? No changes from a visual standpoint or anything like that?
Yeah, so at first, Urban Outfitters, and I get where they were coming from. They're like, we want our customer to easily understand what your product is. And because you've created a new category, nobody knows what a makeup patch is. Like, can you make the back translucent so they can see like the cutout? And for us, like our way of getting around that was to put models on the front of the packaging, which like really humanizes the brand. I can see exactly how it's worn. We foil stamped the sparkles on the packaging, so you can see that metallic texture in store. They've asked us to put a peg hole in it for display reasons. So little things that we've learned along the way that we should have done in the beginning, and was great feedback from them. And CVS took, Urban's edits, as is into store. We're a part of kind of like new and emerging brand aisle they have at select locations. And hopefully like building that out, hopefully in the future. I would love to see
Yeah.
the side path for like seasonality there. But I think really what I've learned from this retail journey is advocating for yourself. I mean, I think you're always hoping like they come to you with this, special moment in store. And I think you as the brand need to tell them like what you're seeing from your customer base and how that would translate into stores for them. For Urban, I was like, okay, guys, like we need to get a display. We need these hanging. We need it to be visual. Like we're now one of their best-selling brands, like at a whole company level, like not even beauty, like compared to apparel as well. It's like we need to create this focal point. We came to them saying, listen, like we want in real life moments throughout the Eras tour. So I flew to Miami, New Orleans, Indianapolis, Vancouver, and Toronto, to be a part of these activations with them. And the sales lifts we saw there were incredible. Just having that founder moment. Also, it was kind of crazy because people started recognizing us and like taking like photos with their families. And I was like,
What?
why do you want a picture with me? And CVS, I mean, it's a little different. I would call like Urban is more like a little bit more department specialty store model, and CVS is drug. So your strategies are completely different.
Can you talk a little bit about the two different strategies in regards to how you tackle consumer attraction in those two?
Yeah, I think with Urban, they've built their own brand and they invest a lot into their marketing of, beauty and fashion, or mostly fashion. And their consumer is a little bit more specific. So they know exactly how to talk to that consumer. And it's just a lot more niche. So it's easier for us and to support that way because it's already so aligned with our consumer. The beautiful imagery, the tone we speak to our customer in, the types of influencers we're already working with, the types of events that the customer is buying these products for, festivals, concerts, game days, sororities. Drug is massive. They have so many different demographics. And what I thought was interesting is I like to be somewhere before everyone else is there or everyone else wants in. And I really saw it with CVS of I could see them taking the model that Target has done of bringing these emerging brands in, investing into that relationship, and growing out this interesting curation of new types of products. I think they did that with Mielle, the
Mael.
rosemary hair oil.
Mael.
Mielle,
Yeah.
Mielle. And I think they did such a great job with that and bringing an emerging brand that was really disrupting social media and was a viral product online and finally making it accessible. So we're still trying to figure it out. It's only been a few months, a little touch and go, but I think our customer is just super happy to be able to like have it at their local drugstore and be able to go there instead of ordering and waiting 5 days to receive the product from us.
Yeah, I mean, definitely feel like it's a product that people want right away, so they can see the results right away too. So what does what does growth look like for the brand as we go into 2025? I know you mentioned an additional retailer that's happening quite shortly. What do you envision for the brand going into the balance of the year?
Yeah, we have a few different pillars that we're really focused on. One is retail expansion and supporting those retailers, really getting to know CVS and the CVS customer more. Our big launch on February 2nd with another mass retailer. International expansion,
Mm.
which I think they tell like most like beauty founders, like just like crack the US market before you even like touch international. But just because of, Taylor's presence on a
Reach.
global stage,
Yeah.
yeah, we have had so many customers wanting our products. And unfortunately, like our product is pretty inexpensive at $15.99 for a 6 pack that the shipping costs are almost the same price. So it's really been hard to serve our international customers. So looking at the UK, EU, and Australia markets for our customer. That would be our first focus point. I think second is product pipeline. We have super fun holiday drops coming for Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day. Those limited edition drops are really key in our business. Introducing new categories of makeup patches used for different areas of the body, which will be really fun. So we'll have that launching this month. And then hopefully another new category for festival season come March, April. We have a massive collaboration happening in March, which I am like so excited to finally be able to announce, but that's also been in the works. And really focusing on the intersection between beauty and sports. Before Taylor wore the product, we came out with our Team Spirit collection, which are glitter freckles, but in red and blue, orange, purple. And we've had so many customers wearing them to tailgates, wearing them to game days, showing team spirit in an elevated way for women. So I want to continue pushing that. We're doing a Super Bowl pop-up at our Urban Outfitters in New Orleans to get glitter ready. We have Eagles green coming out. We have Detroit Lions Honolulu blue coming out as well. So really meeting female fandom, female athletes, where they're at, but creating a more feminine and elevated way for them to show team spirit.
I love that. How are you differentiating what is going to kind of be D2C versus what you're putting in the retail stores that you're kind of launching in and growing in?
Yeah. With retailers, again, like having those conversations with them, listening to them to what they think will perform well. So Valentine's Day, for example, we're doing 2 exclusive SKUs for Urban Outfitters. And I think, again, really that importance of keeping freshness and differentiating the types of products that the brand is offering that retailer. If I'm just offering it to Urban, that will drive my community to buy those products there.
Yeah.
For our retail launch that's happening in February, we're launching an exclusive SKU with them. It's the most asked for product that our community has wanted. And again, to be able to drive, that first week, first month of traffic to that store by our community is a huge lift. And also just makes the retailer feel special and feel different. And we're going to continue to do that. We love testing. We love our limited editions and drops. So if there's something a retailer specifically wants, we're going to offer it to them.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think it's important, especially as you're going to different retailers. It sounds like you kind of have a unique kind of assortment and space for each one of them for your consumers to choose,
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. The CVS demographic, is maybe shopping for something that the Urban Outfitters customer is. So I don't see the CVS customer looking for Valentine's Day, cutesy designs. So again, another way of just differentiating what we're offering.
Yeah, love that. So if you can just let everyone know kind of where they can purchase Fazit, where they can follow the story, follow you, and hear about all the great launches that are happening in the next couple months.
Yes, you can find us at our own website, fazitbeauty.com. We are also available on Amazon if you're looking for Prime delivery. We're available at Urban Outfitters in stores and online. We're available at CVS in 400 select locations, and hopefully to another retailer to use soon in February.
So exciting. Can't wait to hear which one that is. Well, thank you so much, Aliett. I think it's been just a great conversation and, of course, so fun.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.